a monthly favorites video. We're back, we're doing one again. I did one last month and just said, how do we feel about it? The top comment was from KelUK46 and they wrote, did not realize how much I love the old school YouTube videos. I'm not a fan of TikTok and those 15-second clips. This is very much my comfort zone. That makes me so happy. This is my comfort zone too. I've done these videos for 14 years. And for a good 12 of them, I did them every single month and didn't even miss one. So I genuinely love making them. I love having them on in the background when I'm getting ready. So today that's what I'm hopefully going to provide you with, just some ambient noise. Me talking about some things I've really been enjoying this month. If you can hear various different clinging and clattering, there are some guys here to clean the windows. There's been a whole brigade of just guys arriving this morning, scaffolders, these guys doing the windows, renderers, because yes, we are about to embark on another, you might not even be able to hear that, so I'm just gonna crack on. This is more of a 6-weeky type renovation rather than over a year renovation, and it's really boring. I'm sorry to tell you, this is nowhere near as fun as doing the kitchen. We're doing the black pants version of renovation right now. You know when you need to buy pants, socks, a black vest. This is that version of renovation because we are re-rendering only 2 sides of our house. So yeah, very boring, not very visually pleasing, but hopefully very short and worth it in the long run. They'll be done with these windows soon and I'll be much less distracted. I'm trying to focus my eyes here whilst there's a big brush going like that behind. Always the way whenever I sit down to do a video. We're gonna do beauty, skincare, books. I've got quite a controversial opinion about a book, so we'll get to that in a bit. Style things I've picked up this month. We're gonna go through it all. Let's get started with skincare. This is also just gonna be a general things I've been up to this month because I went to a La Roche-Posay event with Katie Piper and it was just really, really inspiring. She is such a wonderful woman, such a beautiful woman, and she speaks so passionately and so eloquently. You know when someone's speaking and they don't say or like me all the time? I was honestly just in awe of her. She is such an incredible person, such a beautiful human being, inside and out. Took the time to go around the room, talk to everybody. And yeah, I just feel so lucky and honored to have been invited to that event and to meet her. It was about their Cicaplast range, and the Cicaplast B5 spray is back. I spoke to the La Roche-Posay team, so I was like, guys, I loved this. It was either last summer or the summer before, or whenever this was released. I loved it, used it, such a gorgeous product. And then I think everybody spoke about it, it sold out. And they were basically saying that when people do that, it's a little bit tricky for them because they're making everything in France. There's obviously a certain run on products. They're sometimes it takes a while for things to come back. So this is back and I'm really, really happy about that because this is one of my favorite sprays in the fact that it feels like it's actually really doing something. This isn't just water, you know what I mean? This is actually repairing and this is the year of barrier repair, barrier recovery, and this product is really, really good for that. And then did I mention it in my favorites or just a general vlog that I'd used up the Cicaplast B5 serum? Love. Oh my gosh, love this serum. And I got this was on our table at the event, so I was able to replenish it, super happy. Cause yeah, this is one of those products that you use and you're oh, this is doing something in a really good way. And my skin just really likes it. Just a general skin update, here's where we're at. I would love, in a perfect world, for things to have a little bit more clarity, for things to be a little bit clearer, but I'd say on the whole, compared to where we were at, active breakouts are pretty much, touch wood, at 5%. Do you know what I mean? There's the odd one around that time of month, hormonal, but just so much better. And I just feel like my skin's healthier and bouncier and it's got a bit more life to it. So loving these two. Moving on to general kind of body bits. I just used up another Tan Luxe The Gradual. I know I talk about this all the time. If you're a regular around these parts, you know, but it's so good. It's the only fake tan that I use on my body. I use the Beauty Pie bronzing drops on my face, this one on my body. And last night I was just I need a layer. I need to throw a layer on. So I did. And yeah, I go through one of these monthly, but it's the best. It's the only one I use. So just spotlighting that for a moment. Also, just a PSA that it is the perfect time of year for the Maison Margiela When the Rain Stops perfume. This is it. I mean, I personally would wear this all year round, but it is spring. It is so fresh. It smells exactly like when the rain stops. It smells like a breath of fresh air. You know me, I'm not crazy about heady, like really strong perfumes. I like my perfumes on the softer side. If you're like me and you have a bottle of this hanging around, like now is the time to bring it to the forefront, like it's gonna shine. And then there's this. Full disclosure, I was sent this product to give a go, but I made the transition this time last year to aluminium-free deodorant, like more of the natural stuff. Before that, I was a Mitchum girl through and through. I sweat a lot, so like antiperspirant really appeals to me. However, you know me, I've got like my psoriasis and that kind of thing, and I just wanted to go down a more natural route with my deodorant. The Glossier deodorant is so good. Love, love, love that product. Really, really good. And I was using that, and then this is from a brand called Fussy. Similar to the Glossier deodorant, but everything about the refill is recyclable, whereas with the Glossier one, I might stand corrected, but I don't think it is. So I like the fact that there's like less waste with this one. More scents. I can't remember what scent I've got in there at the moment. I think it's the orangey one. But yeah, it's just a deodorant stick. I like that this one is thicker because it means that when you're like doing it under your armpit, you just need to do a couple of swipes and you're like getting the whole armpit, if that makes sense. These are not going to make you stop sweating. They're not. But I like got into the Glossier one and then mid-summer used the Mitchum one because I was going to an event and I was like, no, I really want to not sweat tonight. And it felt so uncomfortable. It felt like I had a peel-off mask under my armpit at all times. So I think I'm fully into the natural deodorant world right now. And my phone is obviously listening to me because it's also giving me, it's a brand that looks like Arquette, but it's not Arquette Arced or something. It's more like a deodorant cream, but I'm not sure about that one because I don't like the idea of having to use my hands. But yeah, if you're given this or any of those like creamy natural deodorants to go, I'd love to hear what one is your favorite. I've tried Wild, FYI, did not get on with it. Did not like Wild at all. It made me smell. Even like post the, there's an adjustment period sometimes for these things, although I didn't have that with Glossier and I haven't had it with this. So yeah, natural deodorant people, what one is our favorite? This one, I approve. Okay, let's put some makeup on. This is a favorite. If you've been following me on Instagram, you'll be like, Anna, you're talking about that again. But it's from Beauty Pie and it's technically called the All in Wonder Illuminating Primer. Looks a little something like that. I just like one pump. I thought this was gone. I haven't spoken about this for a while because I thought this was long gone. I'd been using it mixed with their tinted moisturizer, which is another really good way to use it. And then it just disappeared from the site. And I thought, how rude, because I haven't even had a chance to purchase a few, like I love this product. I would have got a few of them. Just messed up your brow there. So I thought it was gone. I was holding on to my tube like it was gold dust. I wasn't even using it that often because I was like, I can't be without this in my life. And then luckily they posted a little update on Instagram and they were like, oh, don't ask too many questions, but it's back in stock. So I did what any normal rational person would do, and I bought 5. In all fairness, I bought 5 because I think it works out for members £13.50. £13.50 for a really nice kind of tinted moisturizer, just general like glowy product. So yeah, I now have plenty, but I was very, very happy to see it back on the website. It does sound like that's it, which is sad. So if you haven't given this a go yet and you've wanted to, like now is your time. It sounds like once it's gone, it's gone. I have literally offered up my services and DM'd them and been like, guys, if this is something that you're ever looking to reformulate, I volunteer as a tester. Like I volunteer as a guinea pig. It's just one of those products that I just don't want to be without, The rest of my makeup is like the usual suspects. I just used the ILIA concealer, Makeup by Mario bronzer. I'm trying to do quite a natural face today. Do you ever find that sometimes when it's like raining and it's a bit gross, you actually want to wear less makeup than normal because otherwise the lighting is not cute. I can't remember if I mentioned this last month. Oh, why do I feel like I did? I'm having a deja vu moment. The Mid-Century Merit Solo eyeshadow, just loving that. I think it's gonna be really nice with this green as well. Just put, like I mentioned, small, tiny amounts. I think I might put on some mascara today. Oh, she's going all out. Okay, and then lips. I feel like, again, I've mentioned this in a vlog somewhere, but the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment. This is in the shade Strawberry sorbet. Very similar to the Summer Fridays, but it's a little bit cheaper. And I feel like it has a little bit more of a pink tint to it. A little bit more. Very similar in like feel and texture. It smells delicious, and yeah, I just kind of like that it gives a little bit more pinkiness. Okay, ignore the hair. It's raining outside, so whatever I do to it, like, what's the point? I'm off to a meeting after this, so I might just throw it up in a bun, tuck it into my top. I don't know, you know, when you're just like, what is the point? It's gonna get frizzy and ruined anyway. Style. Okay, let's talk about style. I bought a new top. Would you like to see it? Here you go. Very crouched down little 12 for you. This was my February purchase. Let's talk about that. So I've still managed to stick to my one thing a month. I found this jumper through a Google image search. I'd screen grabbed somebody wearing it. I was like, oh my gosh, that is the most perfect green jumper. Obviously, green is just something that is on my mind since my color analysis. I'll link that in the corner for you. Green is a good color for me. I mean, this is quite vibrant, and the colors that suit me best are more like deeper, like, to be fair, a bit more like my, oh yeah, I've got like a naked piece of skin here. Like, you know, sometimes skin like doesn't accept makeup. I feel like Alana is always mentioning this. Let me try and, yeah, no, it's refusing. Let's just ignore that. But yeah, my natural eye color is like a really good green for me. Probably a bit deeper, a bit like this. But I thought this was kind of fun. I mean, you know me, I don't really own color in my wardrobe at all. So I saw this, Google image searched it, and it was from a brand called Pure Cashmere NYC. They had done a collaboration with Leandra Medine of this jumper. Saw it, and I'm pretty sure it was sold out. And I was like, well, that's it, like, it's gone. Like, I didn't even add it to my wish list because I just thought, well, it's sold out. It's probably I think it was from like last year. It's long gone, it's not coming back. Then like 2 weeks later, something in me thought, I'm gonna check that website again. Checked it, it was back in stock. I left it 24 hours. I still couldn't stop thinking about it. And I was like, no, I think this is going to be the purchase for February. Also love that because it is this polo neck, it's a little bit casual. It's actually quite thin. So like this is good as we go into spring rather than like one of those like super thick like winter knits. So the next day I go back, I buy it. Issue, they don't ship to the UK. It just felt like it wasn't meant to be. However, I know there's like a million websites you can use, a million ways of doing this. I Googled, they all look like scams. Just putting it out there, they all look like scams. I used one called Shippin without the G or the I. Shippin. Again, looked like a scam. I was like, is this going to arrive? Are they just going to take my money? Who knows? But it worked. You basically pay for somebody's like US address. They get the parcel and then they redeliver it to you. They like take it to the post office. I think all in it was about £30. And actually I forgot to say, when I went back on and found this in stock, it was in the sale. So I got this jumper, 100% cashmere, for about £100, which I don't think is like outrageous for cashmere. It's kind of the price I'm paying for my Uniqlo ones anyway. So yes, it also works my rule of not buying crew neck jumpers. I've written that on my list. I'm like, stop with the crew neck jumpers, because all of my crew neck I only own crew neck jumpers. So it's quite nice to have something that is different. I can button it up. It's kind of cool buttoned up as well, actually. Like, imagine if they were all buttoned. That's kind of cool, but I'm liking the unbuttoned look. So yeah, it was meant to be in the end. This was my February purchase. Obviously just arrived a little bit late. But I have also made a March purchase as well. Let me go find them. Now these literally arrived yesterday. So there's not really much of a review I can give you here rather than just show you them. Look at me, like I haven't bought anything black this year. I mean, these have a little bit of black on them, but they're fun. Well, they need to be retied. They're from Arquette. Again, something that I thought was long gone. I've even looked on Vinted for these. They did them last year. They went, but I forget Arquette, they're clever. They're clever. They bring them back. They bring back the good stuff. So I saw these a week or two ago, sat on them for a minute and was like, no, it's these. These are the March purchase. These are fun. They're just gonna add a bit of something to I'm like loving this style of shoe. I'm loving that they're very pronounced square toe. It's very cool. It just adds a little bit of character to my shoe collection, which it was definitely lacking. I will say with Arquette, I find Their sizing a bit tricky. I ordered the 6 and the 7. I'm kind of more a true 7, kind of a 6.75. So I always find it tricky with shoes, but I would say if you're between sizes, go for the size down. I actually have a 6 in these, but sometimes in Arquette shoes I'm a 7, so just throwing that out there. Probably better to size down. But yeah, I'm excited for these. Like, just imagine an all black outfit. I know that goes against my colors, but like all black outfit with these, or like double denim in these, like this outfit that I'm wearing in these, although that's what I wanted to wear, but it is completely peeing down outside, so not gonna happen today. I need to take them to my cobbler's to go and get a sole put on, because otherwise I'll be like Bambi in these. But yeah, there you go. My February purchase, my March purchase. I think April is gonna be the Posse Pose. I'm never sure how you say that. Posse, the Australian brand. I spotted that it's now on Selfridges, which is good because it means that we can get it without needing to pay any like duties and taxes and stuff. I'll link it down below for you, but it's called the Emma linen vest in the brown. That, I think, is going to be my April purchase. I feel like I've made it interesting. I've made it like a bit of a challenge, and yeah, I'm finding it, I need to do like a Substack on this because I'm finding it quite easy. I'm like, oh, this is quite easy. Maybe next year, rule of 5. I don't know, does anyone follow the Rule of 5 Substack? Great Substack. Loving watching everyone's journeys on there. But as someone who was quite the shopaholic last year, I feel like 12 items for me this year is much more realistic. There are more guys arriving. Oh, I wrote this on my list of favorites. I really wanted to discuss Peloton. They've just brought out a really cool feature. I just like spotted it the other day when I was kind of like clicking around, where you can like go against yourself. You can compete against yourself if you've taken that class before. So there's a Cody class. I know I talk about it all the time, but there's a Cody class. It's from like last summer or something. It's been up there ages. And I've done it so many times, but whenever I would talk about it to someone, I'd be like, oh yeah, I've done it like 5-6 times. I went on the compete against yourself. Like I did it the other day. I was like, oh, what one shall I do? I know, I'll do my favorite Cody class. Went on the like just me tab where I could compete against myself, and it turns out that I had done it. Sorry, that was a delivery because we have a very long car journey coming up with Ralph, like 5-6 hours with a 2.5-year-old in a car. So we're hedging our bets on stickers. There's a lot of stickers arriving to our house right now. Additional question of the day for any parents of little ones. What is your ultimate car activity? At the time of watching this video, we will still have the return journey to do, so your comments will definitely be helpful. I would love to know. Thank you in advance. Where did I get to? Oh, that was it. I toggled the class, so I was just competing against myself, and it turns out that I'd done it 13 times. 1-3. That is how much I love this class. I've done it 13 times, and because I'm a Virgo, I was like, right, I'm gonna beat myself. I'm gonna be number 1 today. And I was panting. I don't know where I previously got that like high score from, but I had really knocked it out the park that day, and it was really hard to beat myself. But when I say that I'm competitive, that is what I mean. I'm competitive against myself. So I think it's kind of a fun feature. I'll link the class down below for you just because it's my favorite Peloton class of all time. I'm just putting it out there. Quickly going back to style, I don't really think there's any other standouts of the month. I feel like I've tried to mix through things this month and like not rely on wearing the same single thing all the time. But I will say, if ever you want to look at my wardrobe as a whole, if ever you're like, I just want to have a little peek in Anna's wardrobe. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it maybe I have mentioned it in here, but basically I've got an open wardrobe on Index. I'll link it down below for you, but if you go on that link, you can see my whole wardrobe is all like linked up for you. I've just added the Suzanne Wills jacket. I need to add this. But yeah, it's all like linked there for you. You can just see it like as a whole, which is super good if ever you're like, oh, I wonder where that's from. But also my LTK is up to date. So if there's ever anything you've seen on my Instagram, it'll be linked up there. I try and add sizing information too. So yeah, that's just like general style update. I'd love to update you on TV, but I've just been watching Real Housewives of Atlanta like all the time. And I've currently got up to season 4. They're in South Africa. So in case you are doing a watch along with me, that is where we're at right now. Let's have a little talk about books quickly. And then I'll talk about sewing at the end. I don't think I've done a lot of reading since we last spoke. Okay, I've read one book since we last spoke, and it is Glossy, Ambition, Beauty, and the Inside Story of Emily Wise's Glossier by Marissa Meltzer. I was really looking forward to reading this book. I love Glossier as a brand. And I don't know, Glossier, it's like 10 years old, so it's really been there with me, like as part of this journey. I remember getting it sent over from America. I remember like going to the New York showroom for the first time. I remember like literally booking a hotel that was like close to the showroom. I remember that every time I go back to New York, I'll be like, right, that is top of my list of things to do. got to meet Emily Wise when it was released into the UK, like their London shop, gorgeous. Just very much like a part of the brand, you know, Glossier You, something I use all the time, Future Dew, Love, Stretch, the concealer, the foundation. So I was really looking forward to kind of hearing more about the journey. And I checked the reviews of this after I read it because I was like, I wonder if I'm the only one who feels this way. This would have made a really great variety piece. Do you know what I mean? It felt a bit drawn out to be an actual book because, as the author suggests a lot of the time, Emily Wise is quite closed off. Rightly so in my eyes, like especially with a reporter, which I think is fair. And so there isn't really that much insight. I don't know. I was kind of expecting more. Hearing more about the behind the scenes. Like there's quite a lot about the inception of the company, and then there's quite a lot from kind of COVID times to like recent times, but that whole like big boom in the middle, I don't know, it just felt like it kind of like glossed over the whole thing. I don't know, I was just a bit, it wasn't really what I wanted it to be, which I'm not really sure is like a fair review of a book, but I did also feel like the author really didn't like Emily Wise. It didn't feel particularly unbiased to me, which I feel like if you're doing this kind of, I guess it's kind of like a business memoir kind of, then it should be. I don't know. I think there's some people who would read this and find it a really insightful book. I'm not being like a Glossier defender necessarily. I really like Glossier as a brand, and like all brands, they've released products that I don't like. Glossier Play, for example, not particularly a hit, even though the eyeliners were amazing. And I still have the pencil sharpener today. We're not always going to be amazing. Do you know what I mean? It's not always going to be a hit, and that's completely fine. You can be balanced with any brand. But yeah, it just felt a bit, I don't know, felt a bit like a character assassination. And yeah, she was trying to make Emily out to be bad, in inverted commas, when actually I'm like, I think I'd probably be quite similar with a reporter that was trying to squeeze me for juice and then write a book about me. I don't know. Anyway, I personally wouldn't recommend that book, wasn't a fan. I'm sure people out there have really enjoyed it. I gave it 2 stars because I'm like, I know how hard it is to write a book. So 2 stars, but personally not really for me. I'm reading a book at the moment. It's called The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren, just because it was recommended by Who Weekly. I love Who Weekly. They had a really good book recommendation part of their recent Patreon episode. So I was like, sounds like a good little romancy type, just something fluffy, something like easy. The Husbands by Holly Gramazio sounded hilarious. I've got that on pre-order. It sounds like every time a husband goes into the loft, a new one comes down. Just sounds funny and silly, and Lindsay was really into that book, so I've pre-ordered that one. It sounds really fun. But yeah, that's what I'm currently reading. What else was there to talk about? I feel like I'm missing something. A sewing machine. I bought a sewing machine, guys. I will put a little photo of it here. I just bought the cheapest one off of John Lewis because I thought, you know what, if I really get into this and this is something that I do at home all the time and I'm making loads of my own clothes, I can upgrade at a later date. But I know what I'm like with hobbies. I can be a little bit faddy sometimes, even though I have signed up to another term of dressmaking because I enjoyed it that much. So I'm starting that after Easter, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, I still have so much to learn. I'm doing stuff at home and messing up so much. Oh my gosh, guys, dressmaking is hard. Major kudos to all sewers, dressmakers, seamstress, tailors, everybody out there, because you have to be so precise. And if you even just like mess up one bit, it's like the whole thing just kind of falls around it. So yes, I haven't made anything at home that's been particularly amazing as yet, but we're working on it. It's a work in progress. I'm trying to make this dress. I'll put a little picture here. This one is from Posse, but it's 260 quid. I've picked up some linen, I picked up some lining fabric. I found this pattern online, and I'm following this YouTube tutorial. So I will link all of these things down below for you, but I will keep you updated and abreast of the situation there. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Just a very chill, me just gabbing on about my favorites. But hopefully you've had a good month. Send me any ideas that you've got for April, like anything that you'd like to see. I'm thinking on Substack, it's gonna be quite like wedding guest heavy. I feel like this is the time of year when we're all like, oh my gosh, what the hell are we supposed to wear to that? So hopefully I can help you out with some ideas there. But if there's anything else that you would like to see on here, on Instagram, wherever, let me know. I'm all ears. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great Easter weekend and I'll see you soon. Bye.